voice is like... hello, everyone. Welcome to Daily Brew, episode 738.
You okay?
Yeah, kinda. This is our daily live stream where we talk about a little bit of everything with some running thrown in. Kim and I thought maybe today would be kind of fun. This episode of Daily Brew, we're going to be talking about Tiger Claw, which just took place this last weekend.
And whatever.
And maybe a little bit of everything else. But we might actually make this episode of Daily Brew public on the channel so all members of the Ginger Runner community can view it and see what Daily Brew is all about. It is our daily live stream. We've been doing it for the last few years, 738 episodes to enjoy. Just a few. But basically, Monday through Friday, we sit down, we talk about running, but we also talk about a bunch of other stuff, from sandwiches to... Kraken. We have a whole bunch of segments. It's a lot of fun. So if you are not a GR crew member or you do not support on Patreon, you can do so. Patreon.com/thegingernunner. $5 plus tiers get access to Daily Brew, all the archived episodes, and all future episodes. So consider it. Support the channel, and it's a lot of fun. Hi. How are you?
Fine. How are you?
Fine. But really, how are you?
Fine. I'm fine.
Yeah, actually, we have had kind of a fun day today. I feel like yesterday and the day before were more like, wait, what day is it today? Tuesday? Monday?
You okay? Monday.
Yesterday was the I don't know what's happening day. Saturday was the race day. For me.
Yesterday was more like the I'm really tired and really sore, but we have a lot of like heavy lifting to do today.
It was nonstop.
And so a lot of dealing with the sticky stuff. Like actual sticky stuff.
Actual sticky stuff.
And then today was more of like, well, one, I didn't think it was going to rain until like next weekend.
Yeah.
So we're like not worried about leaving everything outside.
We have all the Tiger Claw gear.
And then all of a sudden I realized that the forecasts are like, thunderstorms coming in tonight, possible rain this afternoon.
Big systems.
So I kind of had to get my rear in gear.
Today was
so I did a lot
moving.
of hauling of things so they could get out of the elements just in case.
Yeah.
Because last year's Tiger Claw was super rainy. And because it was so rainy, everything got wet. And I ended up having to like open everything up, dry everything. Like it's an extra little like full day of stuff.
But if today's extra lifting can save us from having to re-dry everything out.
Yeah. And I'm also like so swole.
Yeah, you're freaking ridiculously strong. So this last weekend was Tiger Claw.
Was it?
Was it 4th?
Yes.
Let me just preface this entire show by saying Kim and I are on one night of sleep over the last like 4 days.
I can stretch that out longer.
Maybe 5 or 6 days. But last night might have been the first night that we got maybe 5 or 6 hours of continuous sleep. Maybe. So our brains are still a little like... So if I don't know what day it is, which clearly I don't, that's just part of it. Tiger Claw, 4th Tiger Claw took place this last weekend. And we have our new event that we did this weekend too, called the Ascent, which happened on Friday.
Ascent race was awesome.
It was freaking so cool.
The turnout was really good for a first year of doing it on a weekday.
Yeah.
Lots of folks had a great time. Wonderful feedback.
Yeah. We had Joe Gray show up. So national champ, world champ, Joe Gray reached out and was like, hey, I kind of want to do this Ascent race. He grew up in the Pacific Northwest. We designed the Ascent race to sort of fit with that vertical K type format, which he is super good at. He happened to be in town on a family vacation or family trip and was like, hey, can I just drop in and do this thing real quick? And I'm like, yeah.
We had tons of like awesome people racing.
So cool.
Yeah.
So we did the Ascent on Friday, and it was just crazy good weather. It was really warm, but we knew that Saturday was going to be the big day, 50K, 50-mile runners, and record-breaking heat, apparently.
Yeah. So we saw the forecast. We've been looking at the forecast, obviously, for the last few weeks. Usually you look ahead and you think like, oh, Pacific Northwest, it's going to change.
Yeah.
It'll probably be raining.
Mm-hmm.
And it kept like hanging out in like the high temperatures for race day. And I still kept thinking like, okay, well, we need to come up with a plan. We need to obviously get ice, but also, no, I don't think it's going to pan out. It just never does.
It never does.
It never does. So Of course it did this particular time.
Yeah.
And then we did find out that it was the hottest May 13th on record for Seattle.
Ever.
Hottest May 13th on record.
There was a lot of stats around the day about it could potentially be the first 90-degree day before this certain date in history of Seattle, or like the second in the history. It reached 89 degrees, which is the highest it's ever reached on May 13th in the history books. So it was hot. It was very, very hot. The runners did such an incredible job on Saturday. They came prepared. They came patient. They showed up ready to take their time, but like really rock what was probably the most difficult version of Tiger Claw that's ever existed. We've kind of talked about this on Daily Brew in the past, but Kim and I have been like really, really trying to get Tiger Claw. We had like a dream course that started and finished in the town of Issaquah.
Yeah.
And Saturday was the first time in its history that we were able to do that. Not Issaquah's history, but Tiger Claw's history. And it was awesome.
Yeah, the new start finish was really cool.
So
I think from all the feedback I got from runners and families, they loved it.
Yeah.
I loved it.
Big park.
It made like logistics a little bit more complicated because we weren't all in the same spot down low. But the payoff to have lots of parking, less walking from parking, and just to have like more accessibility to viewing the finish line, and also like for folks who are here from out of town or even in town people who are waiting for their runners, they can like go grab food in town or like go wander around, go have a drink, whatever.
Is Michael Hilliard in the chat? Have you seen his name pop around? Because he volunteered and he was helping us out a ton this weekend. But
oh God, I thought it was a bug.
It
was your mouse.
It was my mouse. He had a great moment that I overheard. He was like, "Hey, has anyone had food from this restaurant that's like a block away? Really cute little cafe, Japanese cafe." And people were like, yeah, it's super delicious. And he walks over and he comes back with these pork bao buns. And he's like, these are the best fucking pork bao buns I've ever had. This town's so fucking cute. So Michael's review of Issaquah, I think, is the best review. So
I also have to say that I don't think I've really ever had a chance to like talk to Michael in person before, and I got very little chance to do it this weekend. But the time that we got to chat with Michael, we're like,
he's the funniest.
This is awesome.
This guy's awesome. He's the funniest guy I've met. So Michael, I don't know if you whether you're here in the live chat room now or if you're watching the archive.
Maybe Michael just like, I don't want to be a part of this anymore after meeting us.
Okay, so really where we should have started was thanking the volunteers, because Tiger Claw wouldn't be Tiger Claw if it wasn't for the volunteers. Just to kind of lay out the landscape here. 2 aid stations, and I think you look at a map of the race and you go, oh, there's only 2 aid stations, but those aid stations are visited by every runner upwards of 4 times or 6 times depending on what distance you're running, or 3 times if you visit the top. So they need to be well stocked, well managed. There's a lot of logistics involved, plus the remote location of the one on the top, all sorts of stuff. We had Gretchen Walla of Walla Trails, who took over base camp, basically lower aid station base camp, and her team, like Billy Fortune, GR crew member Billy Fortune. We had our EMT down there, just Andrea Morrison, her daughter was there. It was awesome.
Kathleen Egan
was there. It was like a kind of an all-star who's who. And our upper aid station, high camp, was Caitlin Gerben and Ellie Gerben, kind of put on this Italian refugio-themed Italian dance party. It was freaking incredible. Again, another who's who. You got Caitlin, all-star athlete. Ellie, all-star athlete. Tara Fraga was there, all-star athlete. Yitka Wynn was there, all-star athlete.
Claire DeVoe,
previous winner of Tiger Claw, all-star athlete. Like, the names of the people that you were probably getting serviced by up top, like water filling and food and cooling off, were just incredible. On top of all that, we have the GR crew, who were doing a lot of the timing stuff up top, or the timing stuff down low, or finish line stuff with me and Kim. there were, how many GR crew members do you think were in town? Well over
Lots.
20 to 30 GR crew members in town, whether running or volunteering, and absolutely rocked it. We had GR crew members travel from all over the country just to volunteer and like come out and hang out. It became sort of, we've been joking about it, like the GR Crew Con, like members of the running community, like-minded, supportive members coming together in the tiny little town of Issaquah to hang out and support one another. And it's just so heartwarming. It's freaking awesome. And it was because of all of them that we're able to do this race this weekend. So thank you all very, very much. Our hearts were like full by the end of Saturday. We got home, and as tired as we were and as sunbaked as we were, we're just like, what the fuck? We are so lucky. We're so lucky.
Brian Sands, we miss you, Brian. We talked about you so much this weekend, and we sat in your Tiger Claw Year One. Well, you did. Tiger Claw Year One chair.
Brian, we have your chair.
Still here for you.
We have your chair.
Brian
it's
Sands,
for you.
we are thinking about you. We missed you dearly this weekend, and your name was talked about a lot.
Yeah. So, I mean, anyone who went to today's Monday, yesterday, the thing that was really cool is GR crew member. Sorry, my eyes were closed. I almost fell asleep. Angela Kujar, GR crew member Angela Kujar, and Matt Kujar, who helped me with Matt helped me with all the timing, and Meg as well helped me with all the timing at the finish. I say help me. They did it.
They did it.
They assisted in all the things I did. They did it. They did all the timing. But Matt and Angela hosted GR crew members at their home yesterday, just out of the kindness of their hearts, got the crew together. We were so sad that we were unable to attend. We wanted to just show up very, very briefly, but you would not believe the amount of work that we still had to do yesterday. And we basically were up until, I don't know, midnight or 1 or something, still going through stuff, getting stuff prepped and laid out, and getting the U-Haul emptied because that needed to be returned.
Yeah, the U-Haul was a big
so
thing.
Thank you, Angela and Matt, for hosting such an amazing backyard deck barbecue / hangout beer time. It was so cool looking. We wish you could have attended. Next year, Kim and I have plans to make sure that we do. Our big.
I do think we're going to be invited again.
Well, I don't know if we're going to be invited.
We'll just go.
We're just going to show up.
Okay.
Even if it's happening or not. Hello? Anyone here?
The Matt, can we come in?
Can I ask you a question?
Mm-hmm.
What was your favorite part?
I don't want that question.
Okay.
There was a lot of part?
I don't want
slamming my finger in a sawhorse.
Oh, you did that.
That was my least favorite part.
Yeah.
No, there was so much good stuff happening. I don't know. I think just like seeing everybody and feeling like the community come together. I know it's so cliche and so silly, but it truly is. Like so seeing silly. All like the familiar faces, meeting new people, like putting faces to names, and also seeing like old friends like Yassine show up and like getting to hang out with him, and like Ladia and Adam and those types of people that I don't know. There's something, I think there's a weird thing that goes through my mind of like, we don't deserve this. Like it feels like people are coming. We thought about this idea. We made this thing, and like people show up for us, whether it's like volunteering or running, and people are trusting us. And there's this weird thing in my brain that goes, you don't deserve this. Like why, how is this happening? Because it's so overwhelming, and it's so incredible when it is happening, and all the hard work that goes into it. I don't know. I think just like seeing people, hugging people, being around people is like really cool. And like, I don't know, people in the chat we see almost every day, and then getting to actually speak to them and see them in person, even if it's just like a quick, because obviously race day is crazy.
Yes.
And we would love to have more time to chat with everybody. So even if it's just like a quick like hi, like
it means a lot to us to be able to have those moments.
So much.
Yeah.
And
it okay, so we have been race directors now for 4 years, 5 years with Tiger Claw, but longer with GRGR. But I have to say, like, every year we're learning new things. We're figuring things out as we go. Tiger Claw specifically has changed year to year due to things outside of our control, whether it's pandemic or weather or logging permitting processes. But what we did this last weekend was our first time doing what we would consider our final Tiger Claw layout. Like, not final Tiger Claw, but like,
this was a dream.
This is the course.
This was a dream course.
This is the dream, like, aid station crews and timing people, and like everything was like, this is how we want to do this year after year. So our hope is that next year it will just be able to be bigger and better. And it was just such a great experiment this weekend. And we basically got dealt every hurdle that a race director has to overcome at some point. Weather. So last year we dealt with, was it 40-degree temps?
And colder up top. Yeah.
And rain and storms and sunshine. It was also beautiful later in the day last year.
It ended up being really nice.
Really, really nice. This year we're dealing with crazy temperatures and all the things that come with that. Like,
we had a couple, this was the first year that we had a couple fairly serious medical emergencies happen. Yep. And that was incredibly stressful when it was happening. If one of you, I know some of you were kind of around when that was happening. Everybody is fine. We got word that everybody is fine.
Yeah, an update. Everyone is fine.
But we had some scary moments on Saturday.
Yeah.
That we haven't had to deal with before. And so there was a lot of learning.
Yeah.
And a lot of, there's just a lot of differences between year to year. And I think the more we're doing this, the more it's like, oh yeah, the cold weather, wet weather thing. Oh yeah, we kind of know what our plan is around that. This year with like the crazy heat, it was like, oh yeah, we kind of know what to do, what we can do differently if it happens again this way, better ways to be prepared differently.
Yeah.
The heat that's not a normal thing for here.
Not a normal.
At this time of year.
No, like it was the record, right? So, and now I'm like thinking back going, holy crap. We every year have had to deal with some extreme that a race director has probably had to deal with over the course of 20 years of putting on an event. Like, oh man, remember that cold year? Oh man, remember that year that we didn't get the permits for this thing? Oh man, remember that hot year? Remember that pandemic year? Like, we had, every year we've had that. We had a great first year because it was the full experiment. And I'm so thankful that all the things that happened in the years following didn't happen on that first year. But what was so great about this year is that we have such great volunteers and people who are the who's who of Pacific Northwest trail running, of ultra running, people who have so much experience. You look at their resumes and they're freaking pages long. People like Chrissy Mail, people like Gretchen Walla, people like Caitlin and Ellie Gerben, and all of these names that just mean something. It's the experience that they have, the education that they have, that they bring to this race that makes it so when things go wrong, they don't go wrong. They are managed. And that is what happened this last weekend with like emergency stuff. We had emergency stuff happen. I have no problem talking about that. I'm not going to say specifics, but outside of our control completely.
Yes.
But they were solved and fixed, and everyone that was involved with those things is totally fine and recovered and is very, very thankful to the entire crew. So if you were out there volunteering in any capacity, you are a part of that equation. Thank you.
And Angela says they know how to take care of us and you.
Yeah.
I'll have to say, like, pretty much every year, Chrissy is there in some capacity, Chrissy Mail.
Yep.
And generally we'll get a text from her Sunday morning. And it's always one of my favorite things because I think the world of Chrissy, and I respect her so much as an athlete and as a RD businesswoman.
Chucking out 50K.
She's so seasoned. Yep. She knows what's up, and it's always good to hear from her after, like whatever feedback she has to give from us. But she's also like, she ran the 50K, showed up at the finish line and came to me and said, hey, can I go get those drop bags for you?
Yeah.
Because she, I think, sensed we were putting out some fires, and like that's just the kind of person that she is.
So she literally hopped in her van and went and did some pickups and drop-offs for us. And then, texted us the next morning. It was just like, that was an amazing event. She's like, I'll be there in any capacity every year. And it's like when you have people like her who have run and won UTMB, Western States, like Hard Rock, like all these big races, and she's a name in the history of ultra running. She wants to be a part of your event. It's an honor. It's a freaking honor. And to see her at the finish line hanging out and talking with everybody is also super cool.
Yeah.
We just had so many wonderful stories come from the finish line. That's where I spent most of my time once the race had once the finisher started coming across the line. I spent most of my time at the finish. So this year we had that 50 miler, which was, just the biggest event that we'd put on with all that heat and everything involved. Like, it was some carnage out there, and like Tyler Green chose to come and run this 50 miler in training for.
And Rachel Drake ran the ascent the night before,
which is super cool. Having that family show up and race and support one another is great. But like Tyler was using it as training for Western States and UTMB. He's doing the big double. And I asked him, like, what did you think? And he goes, I think it did the exact thing it needed to do. He was certainly worked by the finish, but he also won by more than 2 hours, which is pretty crazy.
Yeah.
So I don't know, when you get people like that come and run your race and say how great the volunteers were, how awesome the parties were, the timing people were so nice, the markings were great. It was like we made a world-class event in a tiny little mountain town in the Pacific Northwest.
Also to say that, we also are aware we're not perfect, and there's things that we still are learning and still working out. But that's just part of it.
Yeah. And, if we always have a post-race postmortem, basically saying like, we take the days that we need to recover and get our brains back to normal.
We make sure we're all still friends.
We make sure all of our friends are still friends with us. And then we sit down and we go like, here's what worked, here's what didn't work, here's what needs to change. And we, every once in a while, and this happened on Saturdays, like you get comments of like, hey, you should have done it this, or do it this way next time, or do it like that. And in my head, I'm just going, not now.
Not the time.
Not now.
It's not the time.
Like I'm literally throwing garbage into a dumpster and it's almost midnight and I'm like just trying to stay awake. So we will have our postmortem. We will try to figure out how to make the race better every year. So we just thank you for dedicating your time and coming out and supporting us. GR Crew, without a doubt, big part of what makes Tiger Claw happen.
Y'all showed up in a big way.
Big way.
Very cool.
Gosh, okay. So like one of my favorite moments from the finish line was
you had a lot of good stories from the finish line. Yeah. I was all over the place.
How many miles do you think you did on Saturday? By the way, Kim has been putting so much work and time into Tiger Claw over the last few months that you haven't been able to run a lot because most of the runs have had to be like, I got an hour, I got to go do my thing.
We've also been going through like personal stressors as well, which we kind of briefly talked about on Daily Brew a couple weeks ago. So
we're fine.
We're fine.
Yeah.
Not us.
And not us.
But like
fine.
Something we're going through together. So yeah, running has been like a weird thing where it just hasn't been priority for a long time. And then like with all the work that goes into Tiger Claw and stuff like that too, it's been kind of crazy. So yeah, on Saturday, I swept the green loop, and when I got done that, I said to you, I was like, that's the longest run I've done in like months.
Yeah, it's true.
And then I proceeded to like I think I ended up getting something like, I don't know, 15 or 16 miles.
Yeah, you had to go fix some course marking things.
You had to go back there.
And you had to go back and fix it again, and then you had to come back. And then you had to go up the mountain, and then you had to come back. All things that were sort of like you weren't scheduled to do.
No, I was planning on doing the green sweeping, and that was like, it's probably enough running for me when like on the sleep.
Right.
And on the legs that I had.
And I was like, oh, I'll do it. And you're like, no, you're at the finish line. Like, people are going to finish in the next 5 minutes. You can't go anywhere. One of my favorite stories, so I did have a couple of stories from the finish line. There was a woman who, and crew members might actually remember her name because I do not have it pulled aside. I was a little wrapped up. I was a little wrapped up in the emotions of the moment because it was pretty powerful. She was running the 50K, and it was her first, correct me if I'm wrong, 50K for sure. First 50K, but I'm trying to remember if it was her first trail race. I think it was her first 50K. But she comes across the line, like right as she's coming down the finish chute, she pulls out a sign. Oh, God.
Recovery is
Thank
possible.
You. Recovery is possible.
There's some great pictures.
Great pictures from Mark Griffith, one of our amazing photographers that was out on course. So she, cancer survivor, and finished our 50K just bawling. Her husband was there taking video and taking photos and stuff. And I was like, this is amazing. Like, this is incredible. What'd you think of the race? She goes, it was amazing. And like, I didn't think I could do this. I didn't think I'd ever be here. And she's like, this was the second hardest thing I've ever done. and like the whole crowd is standing and cheering for her, and it was just a really emotional moment and a powerful finish. And I'm honored, and I know Kim is honored, that she would choose this race to be her 50K that she wants to run and prove to herself that she is strong. And she was so thankful and so awesome. Everyone there was just like bawling and
everyone was
cheering,
sobbing, not a dry eye.
It was so cool. So cool. And another moment, a runner named Jacob came up to me after he had finished. So I think it was maybe like half hour after he'd finished. And I was sitting down trying to like not pass out. And I'm probably texting you about,
I'm going to pass out.
I'm passing out. And he taps me on the shoulder and he's like, hey man, I just wanted to talk to you real quick. My name's Jacob. I just ran the 50K. Thank you so much. It was freaking awesome. But he told me the story about how he got into ultra running after watching the Wonderland movie that I made with Gary Robbins from 2015, and how he was in a tough place in his life. He watched this movie. He found trail running. He found nature and the mountains, and it saved his life. And he was getting emotional, and I immediately got emotional. And it was just one of those, like, trail running is a powerful thing and has helped a lot of people, will help a lot of people, and has just gotten us through some tough shit. And that's another thing that I love about Daily Brew and the GR crew. The whole reason we started it was because we were all going through something, and we all wanted to be there for one another. And it's a testament to the power of community and how good a community can be to support one another. So it was just a really wonderful moment. So Jacob, I don't know if you're watching, but if you are, really appreciate you, my friend. Thank you for running Tiger Claw. We'll see you next year. Yeah, it's really, really great. We also had so many people that finished just commending the aid stations. Like, they could not get over how awesome it was to be on the top of a mountain and like just feel the need to start dancing, even though the heat was so hot. It was just great. It was just freaking great. The other thing that Kim and I talked about specifically yesterday, sort of going over some of the more powerful moments from the weekend, is that we've been on the other side. So we've raced in races that are hot. We've raced in races that are cold. We've raced in races where like medical things happen, or you come across someone who's passed out on the trail, or like we've been in those races where carnage is part of it. And it's fun to be on that side, I guess, in a sense. I don't want to say that emergencies are fun. I just want to say like there is learning, and there's this like, this is what ultra running is. It is much different. And we learned this on Saturday, to be on the race director side of things, because you are responsible for hundreds of people, their safety, their health, their enjoyment, their joy, their patience. Like, there's just so many things that you're sort of feel that you're in control of, or you want to help make the best possible. So it's just a really unique situation that we didn't find ourselves in until this last Saturday after years of doing this event. And I'm thankful to you for helping me get through those tough moments, because cooler heads prevail, and whatever moment happened during the day, one of us was there to support one another. And the same compliments go to our dear friends Darren and Austin.
Yes.
Darren, Darren is still here. But Darren, if you could also pass this on to Austin, because we know that she's probably at Costco right now.
Paging
Austin. Paging Austin Costco. We have a little Costco graphic.
Oh, that's Austin graphic.
No, that's the Austin. Darren and Austin flew from Georgia, their home in Georgia, spent a week here to help put Tiger Claw together. They've done this every year. Yeah. Well, they used to live here. They moved away. But this year, because they weren't here, they traveled here and spent multiple weeks here making this event happen. So
took time off work to help us.
Just to help this event happen. Yeah. And we put them to work. So they took time off work to come work harder than they would ever work. Sweating their ass off out in the 89-degree sun up on the mountain.
Austin's like looking at bears.
Oh, yeah, there was a bear.
Austin's like one of the only people that actually saw a bear on Saturday.
Darren's running like 100 miles last week, going up and down the course, and it's just thank you, Darren and Austin. Appreciate you. Okay, that's it. Bye. Just kidding.
See you.
Cheez-Its. I don't know. Do you want to talk about a little something? Boop, boop. Kraken with Kim and Ethan. This is the segment on the show where we get to talk about our favorite sport and our favorite team, the Kraken.
A lot has happened since the last time we did Daily Brew.
Yeah, we did last Monday.
It must have been.
It must have been last Monday because
we had a big Tuesday.
All right.
And I did get a special request to talk about Tuesday.
So we'll talk about Tuesday. We'll talk about Thursday. And we'll talk about Saturday. Okay?
Thursday yeah.
If you are new to Daily Brew, Kim is Canadian. And since we were married, has turned me on to hockey. You grew up with hockey.
Yeah.
I found it through you. It is now
I'll also say that 2 people ran Tiger Claw and still made it to the hockey game on Saturday.
This is correct. This is correct. 2 people. One ran in a Kraken shirt. Still made it to the game on Saturday. Okay. Anyways, we're both really into hockey now. I'm obsessed. We watched the Kraken because we're Seattle. You don't need to explain this. It's fine. But, we might have new members.
I think people will understand that we're fans. That's all we need to say.
We're fans. So last Tuesday, we were presented. What
Look
happened?
At Angela. But look what it is on mine.
So Angela just posted 3 Canadian flag emojis, but on our chat on the computer, it just says ka. It's Canada. Okay. So Tuesday, we were presented with an opportunity that we could not say no to. We almost needed to say no because we had so much Tiger Claw work. There was so much that needed to get done for Tiger Claw. But we also knew that this opportunity would never happen again. So our friend who
Sometimes I worry when you start telling stories, you're going to tell it wrong.
Please interrupt me and tell it right then.
Because I would never tell a story wrong.
No. And I think anytime I tell a story, I think you go, you're telling it wrong. So please, no, okay. Correct me if I'm telling it wrong. We have a friend who has friends places, who have friends. And he's like, hey, I got 2 tickets.
To paradise.
Pretty much. Kind of. To Tuesday's game. It's a playoff game. Game 4. It's game 4. Kraken were up in the series 2-1, I think at that.
Yeah.
So we're like, yeah, we got playoff tickets are already hundreds of dollars.
Though, we've lived so much life since Tuesday.
That it's kind of a distant, foggy memory. Yes. Yeah. It feels like a year ago.
Was that a fever dream or did it actually happen?
No,
check my phone.
We probably won't be able to go into all the detail because
there's Michael Hilliard.
It's gone. Hi, Michael Hilliard.
We talked about you already, Michael.
So we get this offer. We say yes. And we're kind of like, oh, where are the seats and like what's going on? It's like what's going on? And he's like, oh, we got parking covered and just come pick me up. It's gonna be amazing. So we go pick up our friend and we like drive to the stadium. We're just freaking excited just to be going to a game.
Can't believe we're going to a playoff game.
There's no way that we'd ever be able to afford tickets.
Tickets are so unaffordable.
They're so unaffordable. So we show up, we get this parking. He's like, oh, we go this way for parking. And we like park in this like kind of VIP area. It's not where the players park or anything, but it is a parking lot that's like connected to the arena.
It's in Climate Pledge.
And we had like the car had to get sniffed by dogs. Like it's kind of official. So Kim and I are like, wow, this is already, the parking is like.
We were excited when we saw what kind of parking we got. This is going to be a long story.
Well, we'll try to make it fast. We go into the arena. We're walking around. It's just, what? This is crazy. And we're like, hey, here's our tickets. Where do we go? And the guy goes, oh, those tickets. You got to go downstairs. You got to go through the halls. And then you got to go through these things. I'll take you. So he guides us down this elevator. We go down into the tunnels of the arena. The same tunnels that we got to go through when we did the tug of war thing like a year ago.
Right.
And he hands us off to these 2 other people who are like, clearly they work there. And they're like, oh yeah, just come with us. So you guys excited for the Kraken? Like, oh, come this way. Your seats are over here. We're like, yeah, we're so excited. And that's
how you answered.
Definitely.
I was like, yeah, I'm excited. So totally normal.
These 2 people are like, who do you think's going to win tonight? And I'm like, the Kraken is going to win. It's great. That's how stupid I felt.
I mean, yes.
We come to find out later.
Well, yeah. Okay.
Well, we'll get to that. So we go down, we cross the tunnel that the players go through. But we
realize that
I'm telling you wrong.
We get to the junction and like right here, right beside me is the entry to the Seattle Kraken dressing room.
Oh, big doors, giant logo.
And then right electronically to the left controlled. Is the tunnel the players walk down with all like the blue lights or whatever. And they're like, right this way.
Kim's like, into the locker room?
I went that way.
So they took us into the tunnel that the players go into. We're like, what? And they walk us out, and the seats that my friend somehow got were ice side. We were one row back, but like against the glass, ice level. And Kim and I think, are just like, what? Freaking mind blown. Couldn't believe it. Looking around, seeing just like the entire arena there. Everyone's like whipping their flags around and stuff. So cool. And then they're like, oh, you also get tickets to the Tunnel Club. We're like, whatever. What does that mean? They walk us back into the tunnel that the players come through. And apparently, we didn't know this, there are 4 rooms in that tunnel. All glass mirrored in. So you can't see into the rooms.
It's like, yeah, in that tunnel where the players come that you see on their social media or on TV, there's actually like 4 suites there. So we apparently got access to one of the suites, which was really cool. So we got to go in there and hang in there. And there was like food and stuff like that. And so like, yeah, just hang in here. And so we were sitting in the suite. It was like us, like with our friend. And then like a handful of other people were in there.
Just sitting there trying to not look.
And I was like telling Ethan, like, because we felt super awkward because this
Way
was
awkward.
it's like not a normal person experience. And so I was freaking out inside because I'm a big hockey fan. So like having ice level tickets is like a dream that I've had for probably decades of like, I would love to have that experience like once. But it's so unreasonable to like buy a ticket. So we're sitting in the suite, sitting there and just like snacking or whatever. And all of a sudden I start seeing the player. So it's big glass. So you see you're right there. And the players just start walking down the tunnel. And I'm like, what is going on?
The suite manager who like controls, there's like an electric lock that you have to hold your ticket over, dims the lights. And then we look out in the tunnel, starts filling with smoke, and then the players start coming out. And we're just like, Aah! That was the sound you made, actually.
Probably. I cried real tears. I actually cried real tears because I was so excited.
You love me so much. That's why.
So we were sitting there in the players in the tunnel, and that's where they kind of hang out and like give each other high fives and do their like pre-race rituals or whatever. And so I was sitting like in the thing and I was trying to like secretly
I'm too cool.
I just didn't want to be like I was like, I need to not be the idiot fan who's gonna start freaking out because everybody was so cool in there. And then I think I looked at you and I was like, what? We're never gonna get this. So I stood up and I went and like stood right at the glass and was like taking photos and videos of all the players and like we were like this far from the players.
It was just glass separating
us.
us.
We're never gonna have this experience. Why not? Like, I don't care if I look like an idiot or a nerd.
We're never gonna see these people again.
So we went up to the glass and our friend did as well. And it was like super, super cool. And then like all the other people in the suite also did it after we did it first. It,
I'll do it too. Yeah. It was just the coolest experience. So we couldn't leave while they were coming through for obvious reasons. They all came through. We saw their like dances and high fives and all the stuff that they do to kind of get each other pumped up from like 4 inches away. It's nuts. They're all giant with the skates and the pads and all that. It's just like, holy crap. They're just bigger than life. They go out into the ice. We like grab cookies and stuff. We go out to the arena. We're getting ready to watch the game. We sit down and I hear from behind me, Ethan! Like, what? I turn around and GR crew Matt is like 5 rows up. He's
Matt
like,
and his partner were there.
Yeah, he's like, dude. I was like, dude. And it was the coolest thing out of 17,000 people.
They were like
crew member like right
behind
there.
Us.
And he ran Tiger Claw on Saturday and he's like, dude, this game's gonna be awesome. Like, I'm gonna be ready for Tiger Claw. Don't worry, you know. It was just the coolest thing ever.
So we got to like visit with them for like a very quick second, see them, which was very cool. Then
game starts.
Well, just I think
like,
as the game is like going to start.
Puck drops or like pre-puck drop. We're cheering. It's loud.
Everybody's standing up.
Freaking
I
spinning.
tap you on the shoulder. I'm like, Ethan.
What? And
Ethan turns around. What's this?
Bowie. Right here. There. Just walking right towards me. Bowie! And he's like, well, he didn't say anything. He's just kind of doing his thing that he does.
I think I was just like,
Kim loves Bowie. Bowie walks by, puts Bowie's hand on Kim. Kim
Bowie
just melts.
smelled so good.
Yeah, Bowie had his cologne or whatever on and started banging the drum and got the whole crowd into it. So Bowie apparently enters by those seats, which is the craziest thing. If you would ever have told us that we would have the all-encompassing VIP Kraken experience, like the dream experience that any person who's a fan of the team could possibly have, we would not believe you. And if it would have happened, or like we would be told that it would happen during the week of Tiger Claw, I don't think we would have believed you, and we would have been like, well, I'm not going because we got a lot of work to do. I couldn't have asked for a better distraction, I think, like a temporary.
It was a nice like couple hours of like trying to just not think about or be stressed about.
It sucks that the Kraken lost, but
we had a really good experience, and like definitely like core memory for me.
1,000%.
No, I'm not kidding. Like I actually cried real tears because it's
special,
it's overwhelming and really special, and just super fortunate to get that experience. And we thanked our friend a billion times. Because they knew that it would be special for us to go.
Yeah. It was really neat.
Cool. Yeah.
Yeah. He's a good friend, and he knows that he only wanted to bring people that he knew it would matter to. He knew we were big Kraken fans, and it was just a really cool, kind of unique experience. What's additionally funny is that we find out that the two people that took us to our seats actually turned out to be the team doctors.
Team doctor.
I found that out when I tried to go back in between periods and got blocked because the players had to exit the player bench. And I was like, oh, yeah, of course. And the doctors came to join them. And I was like, those are the people that took us to our seats. And then after the game, we waited for the arena to kind of empty. And we're standing by the elevator to go back up. And we see Ryan Donato.
Yeah.
And Wenberg.
Like they're like done and dressed in their suits. Walk by. And Kim's just like, and I was like, I know. Keep it chill. I was being cool.
Come on.
I was being cool.
Come on. Don't be that girl, okay? Don't be that person.
Wenberg, I love
you. So anyways, amazing Tuesday. On top of an amazing week. Last week will for sure go down in our memory banks as like the best. The best. The Kraken on Thursday. We watched the game from home whilst doing.
I did not watch it. It was on the TV.
It was on the TV.
I did not.
On mute. And
I
it was basically
my back to it because I was on the floor doing bins and
spreadsheets and like printing. Like we were basically doing this. Damn it. Damn it. So they lost. And we were really bummed because that put Dallas up 3-2 in the series, which meant that Dallas could potentially kick us out of the series on Saturday when we knew we would not. We wouldn't see the game, and it just felt awful. So we were getting updates during Saturday, and the Kraken won. And Game 7 in the series is tonight.
So regardless of what happens tonight with the team, I mean, we obviously hope they win, but if they don't, they don't. But we're happy we get to actually watch Game 7. Because it would have been a bummer if they lost on Saturday and then like that was it.
Yeah. So no matter what happens tonight, we're just so happy to have had the experience last week. We hope they go to round 3.
I mean,
that would be freaking awesome to see them up against Vegas
Meg
Knights.
says Kim quietly squealing so high pitched that only Davy Jones can hear.
Yeah, that's accurate.
Basically.
I mean, so much happened in the last week. So that's just some of the summation of the amazing event, the amazing runners, the amazing volunteers. We just are so thankful. We're still catching up on brain juice.
Yeah, we usually take a couple days to do like the physical unpacking and then the mental unpacking and then all the follow-up emails and stuff like that. We'll go to like our podium folks and volunteers and all of that stuff.
I was going to do
It's time for show and tell.
With Kim and Efi.
But I might wait until tomorrow's Daily Brew to do it. We had a number of GR crew members visit us from out of town. And we got a number of show and tell worthy items.
We got a lot of show and tell worthy items, actually.
Tomorrow, We are going to do. We should be able to do a daily brew tomorrow. I don't think we're taking any gear anywhere. We should be able to do a daily brew.
Something.
There is something tomorrow. It's Tuesday. Whatever.
Yeah.
Next daily brew, we're gonna do a show and tell and show you some of the awesome stuff and tell you all about it that came from GR crew members that came and visited us this last weekend. So we really appreciate all of you spending some time with us, hanging out, helping our runners, cooling people off, icing down legs and necks and arms, and keeping people from quitting. It's just awesome. What? Michael Hilliard, happy birthday!
Happy birthday, Michael Hilliard.
Happy birthday, Michael Hilliard. What?
Doesn't Michael need a song?
Oh man, I think I have the perfect song for him. You think you're ready?
I'm ready.
Michael Hilliard, this is your birthday song. It isn't very long. We hope you have a great rest of your birthday, Michael.
Happy birthday, Michael.
Have a great one. We hope those pork bows were good. And that
Meg says, I hope I'm right. It's on my calendar.
And Heather Reed says, happy birthday, Michael. Elsa says, happy birthday. So, Michael, if it's your birthday, great. If it's not,
we'll figure out when your birthday is.
We take the song back and we'll give it to you when it's your actual birthday. And Michael's does say it's so porky. Those pork buns, so porky. Michael, we were saying at the top of the show that we really, really enjoy you. You're one of the funniest people.
It was great to see you in person.
Just hearing what you were saying at the finish line about like Issaquah being the cutest little fucking town. It's just really awesome. Okay, that's gonna wrap up Daily Brew today. If you are not a GR crew member, and you because we might post this Daily Brew publicly for all channel enjoyers, consider jumping over to patreon.com/thegingerrunner. Join this amazing group of runners from around the world that have the same interests and same passions as you, that are going through the same things that you're going through. We do this show Monday through Friday. We sit down, we shoot the shit, we have a lot of fun, we talk about whatever. We have a lot of fun segments, and at this point, with 738 episodes, it's kind of worth just jumping in and watching some archives. Join the Discord server, talk about gear. We do unboxings here. Yeah, it's great.
Lots of good stuff.
We would love to have you. And for those who are GR crew members, a tip of the hat, a wink of the eye, a pull of the ear, a tap on the nose, and a bit for you. And as for you, I love you. Thank you for a great weekend.
I love you. Thank you.
That's it, everyone. Have a great rest of your Monday. We'll see you tomorrow.
Thanks all.
Go Kraken.
Go Kraken.